Hello students, welcome to this English Hub. I am Puspanjali going to teach you second chapter which is a poem, A Little Grain of Gold from 7th class Milestone English Book. A little grain of gold means a small grain of corn converted into gold. So student, let's know about the poet and the poem and his message and try to imply this message in our life. So basically this poem has taken from Rabindranath Tagore's Gitanjali book. Rabindranath Tagore was the first Indian to win Nobel Prize. He is a multifaceted personality and a writer, musician, painter, and also an educationist. This poem is taken from Tagore's Gitanjali. It tells us an interesting learning approach in our life. This poem gives us a valuable message that light on the virtue of giving. We should be learned that giving much before taking, which shows a remarkable and universal form of request. So here the speaker refers himself as I, as a beggar, and begging door to door in the village. He saw a glamorous gold chariot standing with the king of all kings at some distance. He became excited with deep hope that he would get a lot in alms and wait eagerly for that fancy moment. But the king asked him to give so that the king will return him. After this surprise moment, the beggar was disappointed and said to himself, "What type of royal joke is this?" Finally, he pulled out slowly a little grain from his bag and gave it to the king. At the end of the day, the beggar searched his bag that what he get from begging and found a small particle of gold alms. Yes, the beggar found a small particle of gold alms. He understood his mistake and crying bitterly. He wished that if he had the heart to give all his, he could get a lot from the king, who was actually known as God. Students, before some time, we'll learn about the whole poem, the message of the poet. Now, student, we will read line by line of each stanza. This poem has 5 stanzas, so listen carefully. The first stanza belongs to I had gone begging from door to door in the village path when your golden chariot appeared in the distance like a gorgeous dream, and I wondered who was the king of the all kings. So, first stanza explains that I miss the speaker who was a beggar. He said he was begging from door to door in the village path. He watched a golden chariot appeared in the distance, looked like a gorgeous dream, and he wondered that the person who is on the chariot looking like the king of all the kings. Understood, student? Now the second stanza. Second stanza is my hopes rose high, and I thought my evil days were at an end, and I stood waiting for alms to be given unasked, and for wealth scattered on all sides in the dust. Here in the second stanza, the poet says, mention that beggar hopes highly, that he thought that his bad days will be go and he is waiting for the king, and he is hoping that without any asking he will get lot of things from that king of the kings. Okay. Now let's read the third stanza. The chariot stopped where I stood. Your glance fell on me and you came down with a smile. I felt that the luck of my life and had come at last. Then of a sudden you did hold out your right hand and say what you have to give to me. In the third stanza, the beggar was in disappointed mind. His hope is broken. That when the chariot stopped and the king asking him for what he has to give the king, the beggar was what? A little bit of hopeless. He is hoping for something else, something big, but now he is facing that the king is asking to give him. Now read the stanza 4. Ah, what a kingly jest was it to open your palm to a beggar to beg. And then from my wallet, I slowly took out the least little grain of corn and gave it to you. In the fourth stanza, the beggar finally loses hope and ready to give something by saying himself what type of a royal joke. He was hoping that the king would give him something, but the situation is opposite. The king is asking for to give him. But finally, he opened his bag and give a small corn piece to the king slowly. Okay. Then stanza 5. But how great my surprise when at the day's end I emptied my bag on the floor to find a least little grain of gold among the poor heap. I bitterly wept and wished that I had had the heart to give you my all. At the fifth stanza, he understood all the things. He understood his mistakes. He understood how poor he is and his mind. In that stanza, properly mentioned there, line by line, first line, at the end of the day, he returned to his home and searching from his bag what he got from the belly. Then he found a small particle of gold, which he remembered that small corn seed converted into a small particle of gold, and he was feeling very guilty for his mistakes, and he think of himself that he lost his exam of God. He failed in that exam of God. So students, every time this is the important message for you. We don't know, if we believe stronger our God, the God will definitely try to make us success, give us happiness. But according to our work, according to our give, whatever we give, we will get not that much, but something. So this thing put on your mind, learn it impactfully, that we should always focus on our work, efforts, and sometime focused on our give. Always share the love, happiness, and ready to sacrifice. Then God will believe on us. He will provide as per our needs, as per our work known as karma. So students, now read by yourself, practice it, and try to solve its question answer.